I don't think the great challenge is about setting goals at all. Setting goals is easy. Anybody can write on a piece of paper and project into the future that they want this and they want that. They want specific things that they're told that are needed and also that are necessary. But what is the truth and the reality behind setting goals that are realistic? We're gonna look into that today. I'm Michelle Samuel for Why Goals ID, and once again, everyone, it's like four something in the morning over here in the UK, and we're gonna put out this video because it's very important. So let's get into it. A bit of economics for you today. Just I'll keep it as simple as possible. I did my studies in management and we covered areas of economics. So bear with me. If there are any comments you want to make, no problem. Don't come at me too much with the examples that I've used or the countries I've selected. It's just examples so as to bring clarity to what's going on with goal setting and the reality of the environment in which we live in. Okay, so today's topic is outdated goals plus mindset equals uncertainty. So I was a bit when you're doing the projection plan and you're deciding on what your goals are, what your vision is, it's very important to understand the environment that you're operating in because you could come up with a strategy or you could be working in a direction that is just it just goes against the grain in terms of you being able to accomplish your dreams or I mean especially if you're doing it from an individual standpoint. So I wanted to understand the economic environment as it's operating right now at this very minute, at least reflecting on some of the information from 2022. So I asked myself, I was, just trying to explore the possibility of a topic. So I decided to do some research around money supply. How much money is really circulating in the economies around the world? So I thought, let me use an example. I'm going to use America. My American friends, don't come at me about using America. It's just an example. And yes, I'm in the UK, but the first thing that popped up on Google, and I don't want to refer to that incorrectly, but the first thing that popped up on Google was statistics from America. America is renowned for having stats anyway. So I looked into it and I was like, I asked myself, how much money is in circulation in the economy? And based on the information I've found, money in circulation in the US economy for 2022 was actually, let me look at it, 200, what is this? 2,297.344 billion. 202,297.344 billion. Now I wanted to ask myself if one is going after if everyone is chasing after the dream of being a millionaire, let us project and do an assumption around the fact that it is achievable. So I did some calculations and I, what I did was look at the population in terms of the working age population. This does not include data around. We're gonna assume that the working age population is gonna take care of those who are not able to work within some parameters because you have to think about retirees and you have to think about people who, have access to funds outside of the working age population. So it gets a bit technical, but we're gonna keep it very simple. So remember the amount of money in circulation as of December 2022, according to tradingeconomics.com in the United States was 2,297.344 billion. So I hypothesized and I thought, okay, if everyone of working age were to go after, let's say, being a millionaire, where would that take them? And calculation wise, the population, hold on, we have to, okay, so what's the population, the working age population as at December 2022, according to Zipia.com? Yeah. So the working age population, national population, is 334.2 million, but the working age population is 207.4 million. Those numbers sound a bit big, but remember, we're working to simplify something really important, which is the ability to become a millionaire. And we're talking about cash flow throughout the economy. So let's say you as an individual, you're able to access 1 million just in cash. So if 207.4 million people were to actually be millionaires, where would that put us? So we're gonna 207.4 million people. Where is this now? Hold on. 207.4 million people would take us to 2.074 E plus 14. So you're looking at 14 zeros added on. I need more paper. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me stop this recording a minute. Yeah, I thought as much. So when we do the calculations, if all of the working age population were supposed to actually be millionaires, then they would need 207.4 trillion in circulation. But we have to factor in the velocity of money. Velocity of money is the rate at which purchases and money is, without getting too technical. So it's almost like what is bought with the money, and the velocity of money apparently went down as well. That's an important factor to remember. United States velocity of money, July 2022, money stock was 1.25800. Let's keep going with the simplicity of it. So we do recognize that for you to have a cash access to cash of 1 million, each person within working age, you need at least 207.4 million circulating. But remember, a lot of things are done on credit, but we're going to stick to the cash, 207.4 trillion. But what was actually in circulation was, remember, we said that it was, and I'm going through my different, it was 2,297.344 billion. So the difference between 2,297.344 billion and 207.4 trillion is obvious. There's a big gap. That's the first thing that I've recognized. The second thing is, okay, so you have 2,297.344 billion in circulation, okay? And the top 1%, according to it, when was it? June 23rd, 2021, on makeit.com, CNBC.com. Make It, CNBC.com says that 50, what is this? Top 1% of Americans have about 16 times more wealth than the bottom 50%. So we know that 50% of the money is gone already out of what is in circulation. and what is actually in circulation is a 2,297.344 billion. And we're saying 50% because I didn't really look at the more current. We're using the 2021 figure. We could look for another figure. Let's use the 50% and knock off 5% here or there. So half of the money is already gone in terms of the population that is of working age. Because remember, 2,297.344 billion, 50%, if 50% of that is gone, it now goes down to, I'll tell you, 1,100, 1,148.5 billion. Okay? Now, out of that 1,148.5 billion available within, I mean, money supply wise in circulation in the United States of America. And remember, we're not like factoring in the different incomes of individuals. We're just looking at it across the board from a simplistic standpoint. And we're left with 50% of 50% of the money going to the 1%, which I'm not knocking the 1% because I aspire to move beyond my present situation financially. So I'm not averse to learning from anyone. Yeah. So 1%, 50% of the money is already gone to the 1%. So you have 99% that need to basically share out of the 1,148.5 billion that's available. So I thought, okay, let's look at this. Let's really see what's going on now. So I had to take the population and take out that 1% out of the population, assuming they're of working age. Let's just assume that they're of working age. Okay? Some people might be retired. Okay? So the 207 million people now, if we've actually taken it down to 99%, we're on 205 million 300.3 205 million 326,000 around that figure. So if we have 205 million 205.3 million people sharing that 1,148.5 billion. What's the figure on that in terms of what money is available, money supply wise, for the individuals without factoring the other elements that come into play? So I divided the 1,148.5 billion by the two, which is available, to the 99% money in circulation, that is, divided it amongst the 99%, which is 205.3 million people, which is of working age. What did we get? What did we come up with? I really wanted to know. So after dividing the amount, it came up to 5,593.5 US dollars. I'm not even laughing at the idea. I was just shocked by the figure, to be honest. So money in circulation for the 99%, if everybody is earning this, if everybody across the board would just factor in the population of the working age and the amount of money that's available, 5,593 it comes down to. And we wanted to look at what money in circulation relating to the 1% would be. So when we found, what is this? So the population, we have to double check on this population amount. Population, remember working age is 207. Okay? 207.4. So if we do 1% of that, I just wanted to double check my figure. 207.4, yeah, 99%. And then we have 207.4, 1%. 1% of 207.4, 207, 400,000 times 0.0.01 is equal to 207, what, 2.07, yeah, 2.1 million. So remember now, in this figure, you have 207,400,000, 2.4 million. And then we're gonna take the amount that we do have for the 1%. Remember, it's the same amount. So we'll have here 1,000. Why is that doing that? 1,048 billion. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 divided by 2, 0, 7, 4, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, same figure. I came back to 500,000. 553, 760,000. This is just ballpark, an average figure, without factoring what proportion of the 1% has more from what proportion has less, without factoring assets, without factoring what's being stored in whatever other mediums that's their privacy I mean, that's really their business. So the bottom line is that you can kind of see the logics behind why it's suggested by CNBC that 16 times more is owned, in terms of 16 times, it's 16 times for the 1%. It's only logical. Where does that leave us? Because here, when we're actually doing the calculation, we haven't factored in a lot of other things. So we're seeing 10 times the difference. Where does that leave us? So the top 1% of Americans have about 16 times more wealth, and apparently that's gone down because remember we were using this information from CNBC.com in 2021, and this is 1 year later. And we've come up with basically 10 times the amount. Where does that leave the 99% that wants to get into move from that 5,000 figure to that 1 million figure? Where does that leave us? In a state of aggressive, let's not use the word aggressive, let's say a high levels of market competition at the 99% state. So the only option for one to be able to access more money would be to move towards the 1% or take the money from the other players in the 99% bracket. So you can kind of see why a lot of people don't have cash. And you can kind of see why a lot of people, there's a lot of strife amongst the 99%. There's a lot of competition there. But where does that leave us? Logically speaking, it leaves us in a state of mind that's questioning the realistic design of our projections, because we still haven't factored in other economic factors that can really just deplete the value of the money or decrease the value of the money or diminish the value of the money. So, other than looking at the whole concept of how you are as an individual by your very existence and design and positioning in the scheme of things, one has to understand what's available and how the environment operates and what strategic moves one will have to take in order to move from that 5,000 to that 1 million cash or paper money coins and so on. We're looking at money supply from the M0 standpoint. Okay? Well, money supply, but when we calculated money supply, we would have factored in other things. So we're not even looking at cash. We're just looking at money from the viewpoint of overall money supply. We're looking at the M0, M1, and M2. Yeah. So you can kind of see why setting goals may be suggested by some people as being ridiculous, unrealistic, unachievable. But is it really unrealistic, unachievable, or a bit silly, or is it that one is not clear about one's position in the game and the choices to be made while positioning oneself to be able to get to that million bracket? And not only that, remember as well that there are people that are gonna be coming into the game that are of working age next year. And this is just the United States. This is not the world in itself. So we're not thinking about migratory patterns. We're not thinking about exchange rate. We're not thinking about taxes, international trade. We're not thinking about all the other factors. So it can get very daunting to be able to get to one's dreams because you have so many hurdles, so many things that are you not working against you, but positioning you so you're not able to positioning you in a minority type sort of way of operating without even being cognizant of that. And minorities is like a borderline word. I'm not really keen on using, but from an economic and financial standpoint, you could say so. So when you're setting your goals and you have this long list of things that you want to buy, things that you want to purchase, things that you want to go after, knowledge of the environment is very key. Understanding certain things, and this doesn't require you to be in a school setting. The research is available, the information is out there, but it's just asking sometimes the most simple questions, because sometimes, you know, it is complex the way the environment operates, but sometimes bringing it down to a more simplistic factor, or looking at it from a more simplistic position, allows one more clarity in terms of seeing what moves to make, or if the path or route that is being selected will move them in the direction of being in a better position other than the present state or positioning. So when I'm doing these foundation parts of, you'll see me posting some videos on the individual, how it is that the individual relates in relationships, looking at the household, looking at the family, looking at what dreams and aspirations you want to go after, looking at the how you operate as a person, what your mindset is as well. Where is your mind at? Where is your mind at? What knowledge do you have, or what knowledge are you lacking, so as to be able to get access to people who have that knowledge that can relate it to you from a simplistic standpoint and just tell you the bottom line, dollars and cents or pounds and pence figure, and not from a positioning that the present positioning, but from a future positioning. And this is very difficult to future position. Why? It not no, I shouldn't say difficult, but we have to factor in economic changes. And the thing is, with economic factors that change, is that sometimes the average individual is not able to project or predict. But when one is going in with this list of goals and we're gonna calculate some of the costs, it's like ballpark, because we're looking at some of the costs. How much do we have to spend? What is available to us? What is our disposable income? What is what routes, what channels do you use? What do you need multiple sources of, or do you need multiple channels? How many times do you have to be able to use different channels in order to or maximize yourself in one specific way, competition wise, in order to move from that even 5,000 to 10,000 or 20,000 or 50,000? Or how many additional players do you need to take on your household to be able to be in that bracket? Because we're not even looking at it from a household standpoint, we're looking at it from the individual standpoint. A lot of times the mindset is outdated. Why is it outdated, and why are the goals outdated? It's because there's a lack of understanding of self in the environment. There's a lack of understanding of how the environment works. So we go through these these actions that are continuously leading us in the direction of the same outcome, or based on neglecting the other factors that are affecting the outcome, we may find ourselves in a lesser position than we were even in previously. So you can kind of see why, not that is justified, no justification, no judgment, but you can kind of see why there is competition, not only from the viewpoint of small business organizations. Well, organization, let's keep it at small businesses, individuals, friendships, um, even within the family structure. One may find that an individual who is versed in numbers may be inclined to be not aggressive, but let's just say they would be willing to take a share of the pie if necessary, because they want to position themselves in such a way so as to maybe prosper, or so as to even survive over time, depending on whether or not there's any income coming in at all, or what is the level of income coming in at all. So when we're going in to be able to, when we're going into, let's say, our planning stage, it's not just about putting numbers on paper and saying what we like from what we don't like. It's a compilation of a strategic outline of how one will move in the present environment in order to reposition oneself in the direction of what one is going after. And who you're aligned with is a major factor as well. But why are you aligning with those people? But outside of who you're aligned with, who are you and where is your mind at? Well, how are you looking at the plan? Because I could put out a video, and that video could be so equipped with, oh, look, I've come up with a whole strategy of what the numbers look like. And I've done this in the initial stages, don't worry. And these are the things that we're gonna cover. But while we were doing the research, reflecting on the reality of the realities rather of the situations, we had to ask ourselves, okay, why is it that that goals are difficult to reach, or unspecific, or unsmart, unrealistic, so many other uns. And these are some of the factors. The goals and the mindset is outdated, so one is left in a position of uncertainty, and we still haven't even thought about all of the costs involved with the things that we want to go after, or the things we do really need to survive. All those expenses, all those unforeseens to maintain those things. So when you're going in, when we're moving forward with looking at goal setting and the identity you're gonna create around the goals that you and I are reaching for, it's very important that you have clarity of the environment and clarity of self. Clarity of the environment is there. There's a lot of complexities, but more clarity on self and more clarity on the environment, and also, putting the actions and the milestones, building it like specifically, but within parameters of change. All right. So I'm Michelle Samuels for Wild Goals ID, and remember, subscribe to the channel. We need the subscribers. We need the watch time. We're putting out more videos. We have some great things ahead. If you just hold on, listen to the information that is being shared, share, make comments, share any information that you have, no problem, and we'll continue on the journey of going after our goals and dreams, and and actually putting plans in place, because many people have a dream but they don't have a plan, and even if they have a plan, it's not specific, and even if they have a specific plan, it's sometimes unrealistic. We're not going for that. We're going for something more realistic, and we can work within ballparks and actually reach towards our greatness. Okay. So guys, have a fantastic week. Ladies, have a fantastic week. Yeah, young people out there, meaning like the ones just coming out of college, university, and so on, 18 and overs mostly. Just take good care of yourself. Stay focused, everyone, and let's do this. Let's get those dreams.